he's not making ultimately the decision whether the project should or should not be granted. So I just, when things are being brought up about the process, I just want to make sure, hearing from my attorney, I'm not a land use lawyer, but it seems to me from all I've seen that the process has been followed to the T, and if I'm missing something, I would ask our expert over there to tell me otherwise.
No, you're not. The process that we've followed, of that the governing body has been following, is certainly in line with the governing law. An applicant can petition, anyone can petition the governing body to request a change in zoning. That's what's been done here. Requesting a zone change and a permitted use in a zone. That was done here, regardless of what happened at the zoning board level. The applicant still has the right to petition this governing body for request in zone change, because the matter that was before the zoning board was a request for a use variance. So they're two different things. At this point, the governing body decided to move forward with a proposed ordinance. It was sent to the planning board for a consistency determination. The planning board made their determination, and now it's up for public hearing and adoption if that's what the governing body chooses to do. And just, again, just to reiterate, the matter that was before the zoning board was a request for a use variance requiring a supermajority. So the applicant then appealed it to Judge Lawson. The standards that Judge Lawson reviews the record before him is different than what we're doing here. We're not, you're not approving MAC. You're approving, if you approve. Right. But, and I'm not saying you're approving anything. I'm just to be clear, so there's no confusion, that the request is for a change in use as a permitted use, sports and recreation complex, and a certain portion of ARE 6 property to SED. That's what's before this governing body.
Matt Patterson. Please state your name and address, please, for the record.
Sure. My full name is David Matthew Patterson. Live at 302 Baker Road. Everybody's getting heated. I'm just here to make a simple statement. I've only been to one of these ever before, and there's probably a reason for that, because this gets like way involved. The only reason the only reason I came here tonight is basically because I got a certified letter stating that I live directly adjacent to the properties in question. And originally, when I heard about the MAC LLC, I came to the meeting. I am a small business owner. I'm with the Chamber of Commerce. I'm for business, no problem. And it sounded like a decent project if it was zoned correctly and they're able to put up their building. More power to them. My problem is I'm not a long-time Howell resident. I'm probably the youngest homeowner in this whole building right now. But I grew up in Howell Township for 26 years and been here for the past 4. And I saw for years over there.
Yeah, you can't speak for 5 years, sir.
Yeah. But I've seen for many years over there that any piece of farmland or any piece of agricultural use land could be conformed or rezoned the same way that they're trying to do here. If they can build on pieces that they're able to of their property that's zoned correctly, I don't have a problem with it. But I do have a problem with the rezoning of 3 other properties that they don't even own, and the portion of their property that's designated agricultural to be now the SED zone, I believe, because now in the future, as the attorney just said, all we're doing is setting that zoning precedence. Whether this MAC LLC goes up or not, that zoning is now that if that property were to change hands in the future, any of those 3 properties, one of which is a nursery growing facility now, could be utilized for any one of the numerable things that I will refuse to read off of this list of things that an SED zone could be used for. That's the main problem I have, because if you keep making those precedences, eventually we wind up with a bunch of old fields that have houses or buildings or things planted in them, and that's why that was reserved for a agricultural use, something like that. Because this is not, in my mind, this is a business. This isn't a parks and recreations thing. And right. And I have no problem with a business if they can do it under the parameters that were originally set. But I have a fear from seeing it in the past that if some reason that didn't work out for them, now something else has the precedence already set, and they could sell that property or do whatever they wanted, and it could be an SED for some other business, facility, whatever. That's my main concern.
It could be now, sir.
Correct.
Most of the property.
But not lot number 12 that, you know, my wife's horse stands next to and, you know, is like I could throw a stone and hit.
Okay.
I don't understand how they can ask for rezoning of 3 pieces of property, actually 4 or 5 pieces of property that aren't even theirs.
I don't believe they did.
Well, no,
It-
I mean, yeah, there are.
it's
there
in
are-
here.
There are parcels that are adjacent, but that's because the request is for a zone change in that area based upon the change being more consistent with what's already there. And I believe that none of the property owners of those adjacent properties had any objection, or at least I know of at least one that absolutely sent us a letter in support of this and thanked us for considering it, because he felt that his property had not been properly zoned when the rezoning was done with the last round of master planning.
Okay, but what I don't understand is that there's 3 other properties that are directly adjacent that, well, I live on and 2 other neighbors live on that, you know, the 3rd property that has a residence and a tree farm on it is being rezoned, and I don't understand why that's even included.
Didn't we get a report from our planner regarding
I believe
the?
that's actually the property that requested the zone change. I'm not certain, so. but-
You must speak into the mic, Ms. Kingdom, when you speak.
I think that's the property that may have requested the zone change, I'm not certain. But at the same
You
time.
must speak into the mic.
Okay, when you're changing a zone, you're not gonna change the zone for one piece of property.
Okay.
That would be spot zoning. The properties that are contiguous to this parcel, I'm not the planner, would be, according to our planner, appropriate for the change in zoning.
Well, it doesn't mean they ever have to change their use.
Oh, right. I understand that.
Okay.
But that's the main issue I have, and you could take that for what it's worth. But I think we should be preserving those agricultural lands that are already designated that way. They were there for a reason, and I think, you know, the front parts of that property that they can build on, modify their project to suit that need.
Thank you. Welcome to Howell Township, sir. All right, really, welcome to Howell Township. Barbara Dixell.
Barbara Dixell, The Villages, Freehold. Okay, I'm going to start by reading part of Judge Lawson's decision. Mack failed to present testimony that the proposed use will not undermine the intent and purpose of the Howell Township Master Plan and zoning ordinance. The court finds that Mack failed to satisfy its enhanced burden of proof for the approved variance. Height variances were previously reviewed under NJSA 40:55D-70C, which required a hardship on the part of required less proof than a D variance for special reasons. ID at 50. The legislature placed the higher burden of D variances because they provided a